Hello and welcome to the Astraddle Podcast. It is me, Danny, right in front of me actually. This time is Lee.
Yeah, I'm Lee and I'm with Danny. We're going to do this podcast. It's going to be fun. We've got a few topics that we're going to just talk about.
So a few things have happened this week. The coronavirus has got a lot worse, or a lot bigger. A lot more countries. Italy is now in, I think it's 2,000 cases within the first week. And Liverpool have lost their first game away to Watford.
Damn it! We couldn't go any further without mentioning it, could we? Damn. Well, the coronavirus apparently. I don't know if you've heard. I saw it on the internet yesterday that 38% of Americans will not drink Corona anymore because they think that you can get it from drinking Corona beer.
That's just silly. I mean, I think it was. I don't want to say which it was, but one of the antiperspirant things for kitchens.
Oh yeah.
On the back of one of their bottles, it says helps cure coronavirus.
I did see something that said alcohol cures coronavirus. So somebody give me the bottles of wine and I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because the way the media is portraying it. One article I read, it's all serious. It's like an international. I wouldn't say I can't say disaster, can I?
You can.
Is that what you can call it?
You can call it that.
Well, yeah, I got one article saying it's really bad. We should all prepare for the worst case, and another one where it's just having a laugh about it. It's very, very weird.
I tell you, there's one thing that's shown me that it's very bad, and that's the fact that Donald Trump has said it's a hoax, yeah, and then when it's come to him meeting Asian representatives, he doesn't want to meet with them next week because of the coronavirus. Yeah, so that tells me quite clearly when it's involving him, it must be serious.
Now, I mean, I want to be careful of what I say about the coronavirus because, I mean, to be fair, I don't think none of us really know other than maybe those in higher jobs, so like, I don't know, prime ministers, presidents, stuff like that, and those high in countries. What's really going on, because I mean it seems very strange how it's just come about and no one knows where it's exactly come from, what it originates from, and how to cure it.
I know one thing: coronaviruses have been around till the end of time. Yeah, it's just different names.
Yeah,
it's just that this one hasn't really. They haven't got a cure for it.
Yeah,
it's stronger than the flu, but normal people that are fighting fit wouldn't, from what I've heard, are less affected. People with underlying issues like diabetes, or they've got a serious illness with them, they're more
those with a weaker immune system.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first Brit has now died from it, but I was trying to search up and I don't know the age of him. Or it's weird. I saw one where he's 23 years old and another where he's 61. So I'm like, okay,
is it the same person?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Because my wife, one of her ex-teachers from Ilkeston, was actually on the cruise that got quarantined. Yeah. And last she heard, he was in quarantine for the coronavirus. That's kind of scary when you hear that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I was saying, are you worried by it? What's your mindset going into it?
I'm not worried. I'm not exactly the healthiest of people, but I'm not worried because at the end of the day, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. I can't stop it because with me being as I am where I'm going, I'm always seeing people, and if they've got it and I actually get it, there's not a lot I can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing stuff where people in England is walking around with masks and they walk and they're staying in the house because they don't want the chance of catching it. I mean, fair play to him in a sense, but I think that's a bit silly.
I actually saw she must have been 19 years old. I was driving home from somewhere, and this young blonde-haired girl, dolled up with all the makeup. You could see she had a tan done, and then she's running across the road. She got this white mask on, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not that serious. I say it's not that serious. It's not in the sense of as close to home as you think.
Yeah, it's not like plague levels yet.
I mean,
as we know, because I mean, it's still very. How would I say it? It's still very
prominent in life, but as it is, I mean, I hate to say this, being in the Midlands is a pretty much decent thing. For the simple fact is, most of the things when things first happen, it happens in London.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes to London.
Goes to the seaside towns.
Just
Stuff like that. Yeah.
taking it off topic once, in the sense of being in London. When I've been to America a few times, and I don't think you have been to America, have you?
No, I haven't been to America, no.
Because it's such a big place, and people ask you where you are, and if you say, "Oh, Nottingham," and they go, "Do you live near the Queen then?" And it's like, no. But in the head of an American, because the country is so big, a 3-hour journey to London from
Is
here,
nothing.
for them, they're in the same state. So it is close to them, but to us, it's like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we're like, oh, like, as we were just saying, we thought Ilkeston Town just played against Newcastle Town. I thought if I was in Newcastle, I was like, can I be bothered to travel for 4 hours? But for them, they're like, 4 hours, that's not bad. Jump on a plane. And then it's 4 hours then. But America's massive. It's very,
massive.
very big.
I was actually planning my my massive road trip this year in America this week.
New England, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done so many things, it's unreal. Oh, I can feel the bank manager going, do you want to stop that now? Do you want to stop that now? But I'm going to be up in a water plane going over Rangeley, looking at some lakes with my camera equipment, getting some really good photos.
So, as we briefly mentioned, Ilkeston Town.
Yes.
2 wins from 2. We've seemed to change our form around and playing some good football. Very good football.
Shall I tell you why I think that is?
Go on.
I think the assistant manager's had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of things, I reckon. It's the fact that Gandhi has had more time at the wheel, as people call it now.
Yeah.
He's been in the job a lot longer, where he's brought people in with... I want to be careful of what I say, because obviously, although I am with the club, I'm involved with the club, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So
you can say what you want. It's just that...
That's one thing I want to mention. For people who, I guess, ask me, oh, do you know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I don't. I'm sure you're the same, Lee.
I'm the same with Ilkeston, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them things where we're not aware of anything that really happens behind the scenes
until it
happens. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of things. Gandhi's brought people in, is let people go, and now we've got to the point now where I think some of the players who he's brought in, like Joe Maguire, Kieran Wells, and I think Cole Lambert was here just before.
He was, yeah.
Gandhi took the head coach, manager, or whatever it is, role, and I think it's just a lot more. I wouldn't say chilled, but I think people now know each other.
Yeah,
they know how they play, they know what to do. And I think they just had a lot more time on the training ground to get to know each other.
I think Kieran and Cole up front is a brilliant pairing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not just what they do on the ball, because on the ball they're brilliant,
Absolutely.
but off the ball, what they do together and separately, drawing people towards them, because they know as soon as they get the ball, it's dangerous.
That's the thing with footballing-minded people. You don't just go and watch a game because if they don't score, I've seen it on Twitter, and I've even seen it at grounds, that because they're not scoring, they're not doing anything. But they don't see that someone is drawing a player away, so another player can come in and do the business and get the goals. But I mean, it's took Cole a while to get his shooting boots on, but he hasn't had that much of a chance, to be fair. But the chances there he started, and the game before and this game that was yesterday, you just couldn't write it any better. He's literally turned up, he's played so hard, and he's done really well. He got his goal. And the one thing I did notice when he scored the goal, I think I sent you the photo actually of him actually pointing over to us. Yeah, because he couldn't get to us because quite a few players were literally swarming him, but he literally stuck his finger up and he's like pointing to us for the celebration. I was like, that was quite cool.
So going on it, how do you think Ilkeston played?
How do I think they played? I really do think they played really well. They was unlucky in the first half. I mean, Tom Marshall nearly scored the a goal that went onto the crossbar
from the free kick.
Yeah, and I think Fabs did really well, and I think there wasn't much for Joe to do to start with, but when there was, he got the job done. He was brilliant. Joe Maguire was just brilliant at the back. But then you've got Kieran, who always puts his shift in. Always puts your shift in, no matter what. I mean, when we first got there yesterday, and we were told the game was on, and funny story, it was bright sunshine in Ilkeston. We get closer to Stoke.
Oh, we go into a tunnel, don't we? And then we go back out, and it just starts.
And it's just started snowing, and it's really, really heavy. We're like, this game isn't going to get played. We get there, and the pitch wasn't great. But I will
standing water on when we got there.
But I will say this: the staff, everybody to do with the club was absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant. They were brilliant. It was just the pitch that I wasn't exactly happy with, but that's not something I would say to somebody. Give them crap about it. But at the end of the day, I know I've heard people giving Newcastle Town's ground staff a load of crap because of the way the pitch was. And they did really well to get the game on. I was really impressed with how they handled it.
Did we fork the game? Sorry. Did they fork the pitch? I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. I don't think they could.
Yeah, I got there and I was like, "Oh, this," because I helped Kitman Macaulay. Sat out the kit, and then we went out to take the coats and put the bibs on the bench and stuff, and there was a massive puddle as you walked in.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Onto the pitch. I put my foot in. I was like, "Oh no!" So for the whole of the game until I got home, my feet was soaked.
I genuinely had my snow boots on, and when I put my foot in the puddle, I'm like, I was like, oh my god. And at this point, I got 2 cameras strapped to me, so if I'd have fell over,
game over.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so I took it very seriously and went through it very slowly.
But I think just the fact that the game was on and the pitch didn't rip up too much, to be fair. It seemed a bit heavy on the feet.
Yeah.
It seemed like to start off with, the players were a bit slower than usual. But I think it goes to show that Newcastle have very good drainage.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, there was standing water on it whilst we got there. And to say within an hour and a half from when we got there to when we kicked off, it drained so well. And it was such a nice ground as well. It was just unique.
It was unique.
The racetrack around it, it was
like a velodrome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally a velodrome.
But the problem with that is one of the orchestra stewards who we talk to all the time came up to me and he says, "This stadium apparently holds 4,000 people."
Yeah, 300 seated, thanks to Wikipedia.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't get close to the pitch unless you was like
pitch side
or
around the velodrome.
Yeah. But being on the velodrome, you're still fairly far away. Unlike when you go to Ilkeston, you're literally on the pitch.
Yeah.
With anywhere where you go round the side because you haven't got a track round there. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was great. I did get told that by my wife. She said to me, she says, if you were stood around the velodrome bit round the sides, it was Baltic, and because I was pitch side, I wasn't as cold. But believe you me, it was cold down there. It really was.
Yeah, well, I was in the far back of the big stand. Me, John Shields, John Atwell, and then Mark Clifford, the head of football.
I saw him
joined us later on. Yeah, and we was there. Our legs were shaking, and I was there because rookie mistake. I forgot to take a coat with me. I was sat there in my tracksuit and I was shaking. I was like, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this." I was tempted to just sit in the clubhouse at the door, or stand in the clubhouse at the door, and I was just like, "Watch the game for there." But it was very cold. But still, I think that ground was very unique, and I'm happy the game was on, and I'm happy we got to go there. Cause what an incredible ground!
And also, you got to think, if it hadn't have been on, the last few weeks would have been absolute chaos because we've had to fit in more games.
Yeah, I think we've got 9 more games to play now,
but only 2 or 3 that are.
Yeah, I think we've got
at home.
I think we've got 6 away and 2 at home, so about 8 games left.
It's going to be good,
mental. But yeah, I mean, it goes to show now. What is it going to be hard? Like a couple of seasons ago for the players with training, getting together. Because some teams in our league, especially, I think there's one who played 22 games so far this season.
Who's that?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I think there's 6th or 7th. I think it could be not Colt. It could be Colton, I think. or so they're sat in around the playoffs, and they only played 22 games. So we've got like 15, 16 games left to play.
Oh my God.
So they're going to have to play 3 games a week, I think.
That's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 1869 Norwich as well, a couple of seasons ago. I think they had 19 games left to play in 6 weeks, I think.
Oh.
That was incredible. So they was playing 3 times a week. And the season had to be extended 2 weeks to fit them games in.
Really?
But that's the struggles in non-league.
Yeah.
The pitches get called off. But it just goes to show, even for volunteers and those who are lucky enough to be paid by a non-league club, just the work they do to get the games on, make sure the ground is safe, because it's not just the pitch, which a lot of people moan about the pitch, or it's called off and the pitch looks okay. It's the surrounding areas as well.
Oh, I don't know if you saw a tweet that I put out about the ground. It was actually a photo. It was the photo of Kieran and Cole together.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a photographer friend who does a team up in Liverpool in Widnes.
Okay.
And he's a Widnes's club photographer. And after I put that photo up, I didn't put anything else up, just that photo. And he went, "I've been there. That's a weird ground." I was like,
"It's very quirky, isn't it?"
It is. Yeah. It's completely not what you'd expect.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Because it's like a football league ground, so the clubhouse and the food is separate to the pitch.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm used to being able to go to a non-league game and you're waiting for your burger, which we didn't have.
You couldn't get a burger or a hot dog.
That was so strange.
My missus, right, no word of a lie, she said to me, for next season, she was going to do a league table of burgers. And at this moment in time, Newcastle Town will be at the bottom because there's no burgers. They do really good pies.
Oh, the pies were beautiful.
I had a chicken tikka pie. Oh.
I had the steak.
Oh, it was nice.
I had steak, chips, peas and gravy, which I shouldn't have, to be fair.
You're a footballer, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut down, but it's so many nice food, especially when we go away.
Yeah.
I think the nicest burger I've had so far was Spalding.
Yes.
I had a double cheeseburger and bacon.
Yeah,
I felt it on the way home. I was like, "Ooh, my stomach's a bit." I shouldn't have ate that, but yeah, it was so nice.
You got to have it when you can. When we went to Spalding, and I also remember when we were at Spalding, I had the burger there, and then after the game, I got one of Ilkeston Town officials. He said to me, "Do you want to come into the hospitality?" I hadn't been in there at this point.
Yeah.
And I went in there. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is great."
Yeah, it was like a little cabins you see at school for temporary classrooms.
Yeah.
It was very nice, and it was like antique, like ornamental mugs, which I found was really nice.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been to a few grounds this season, in the hospitality, and some of the grounds are just incredible. Like I've not been in Ilkeston's hospitality so far this season.
Have you not?
No. A couple of seasons ago I went in when John Atwell and Kelly Pike did it, and that was very, very good then.
I went in when we had the friendly against Chesterfield. Before the game, John came over to me. He says, "If you want to come for a drink at half time," he says, "just come round to hospitality." I says, "Are you sure?" I says, "My wife's going to be watching the game as well." I says, "Oh, I'll bring her in as well." So we sat in there, we had a drink. She went and got us a burger from the place, and it was amazing. It really was. I mean, the game itself wasn't great because it was foggy.
Oh, yes.
That was horrendous, that weather.
I remember I was on Twitter and people was like,
"What's going on?"
Yeah, I got a few tweets and like, "Oh, are you doing the updates?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing the updates." I went, jeez. I couldn't see anything. I think we ended up sending John Shields down to the other end of the pitch.
You did?
Because we scored and we didn't know who scored.
Yeah,
and then
I think it was Alex.
Yeah, we heard one of our own. I was like, yeah, Alex has scored. Yeah,
yeah. We had John come up to me. He says, "Can you see anything?" And I'm pitch side.
Yeah,
I'm like, "I can't see a bloody thing."
Fair play to the officials, though, and it was very good.
Yeah,
very, very good.
They didn't miss anything what they could see.
Yeah.
They gave what they could see.
It wasn't at the University of Nottingham game, which were foggy. It was, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
There was a very good outfit as well.
Yeah.
For a uni team. Well, I wouldn't say for a uni team, because Loughborough Uni's got a very good team as well.
But they've also got a good American football team.
Have they?
Yeah.
They've got a very nice ground as well.
Mm.
I think we went last game of the season and there was no sand and it was all grass.
Wow.
There was no part where... I think the goal mouth was a little bit, but it looked like you played 10 games on it tops.
Wow.
And they have like 4 or 5 games on it a week.
I know NTU's facilities are amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen them yet.
I've not been.
Because that's Trent University. But I've been in there because I did the American football stuff and taking photos. The gym and that, it's unreal. And the facilities where they play, everything is just absolutely nailed on and
Some
great.
of the universities now, though, are incredible.
I wish I was back at university with some of the stuff that, the facilities they got now.
Yeah.
Really do.
But going back to the Ilkeston game, I think it was incredible because Ross in goal.
He had
some incredible saves, always.
That guy never gets the credit he deserves because everyone's always looking in the attacking goal.
Yeah, I feel sorry for goalkeepers because you have a very hard job. Because the defender will make a mistake, and then if it goes in, they'll more than likely blame the keeper. And that's not Ilkeston fans.
I've got a question for you.
Fans in general,
I've got a question for you. Yeah. What position do you play?
I was goalkeeper.
There you go.
So, my brother Marcus is in the control room with Mike. So, I think I'll say he trained me up. And so did Mike, who's at Ilkeston.
Yeah.
I played for his team. Well, I think we only had one game. But he did this thing where, I think it was about 20 of us went down and we played football, we trained. I learned a lot from him. And then my brother trained me quite a bit. And then it got to the stage where I think I was about 12 and I hadn't grown yet, so I was like 4'11", and we just went into full-size goals.
Wow.
So I was like, I've kind of got to look into a different area. So me and my brother then, so I think it was his last year at school. Well, no, last year at sixth form, I think. So we trained a bit, and he got me to an okay standard, and then I got injured. I did my knee, and then...
What'd you do?
Well, it's weird because it's not like I'm going to say, I tore my ACL, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know what I did. I did something to my ligaments in my knee, and it wasn't right for like 2-3 years, and I still have troubles with it now. But basically, I was walking up the stairs, and both of my legs went. So I was walking up the stairs,
Jeez.
and it was my second week in year 7, so new school, second week, so I had to have 2 weeks off. Because I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything.
That's
and
crazy.
I wasn't given crutches or anything.
Wow.
From the hospital, so I thought that was very strange. So, I think it's only been recently where I've managed to get used to rebuilding my knee.
The strains of playing football.
I've rebuilt that, and now I'm starting to get my fitness up a bit. It's still nowhere near where it should be. I've still got a lot of hard work, but slowly getting that up. I'll be starting to diet. So hopefully next season I'll be playing competitive football again. Maybe academy level, as in like college academy level, not your Chelsea and your Bournemouth and your Liverpool and stuff.
Oh wow, Liverpool don't let anybody in.
Yeah. So yes, I've done that. I've worked hard. I've now rebuilt my knee, so I'm good. I say rebuild. I've not really had to rebuild it, but I've had to strengthen it. So it's mainly exercises once or twice a day, which I didn't do properly, and I'll admit that. And that's what has made me be out of being able to play sport regularly for so long. So I mean, if I've got any advice for anyone, it's whatever physio or whoever you've been to tells you to do it and stick to it. Because I've had 3 years out not being able to play often, and it's horrible to be fair.
Did I tell you the extent of how badly damaged my leg was?
Yeah, that was very bad.
Yeah, that's been 15 years in the making.
Yeah. How is it with your new knee? Is that good?
It's still it aches from time to time when I do far too much. When I'm literally travelling here, there, and everywhere, for a full week, it hurts, and it flared up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine. I would suggest anybody that's injured don't think you can get a new knee, on the NHS when you're young, because it's like gold dust. You just can't. They just don't like to do it. But my knee was so bad, and I mean it was so bad. My surgeon, my consultant said to me, he says, I'll have a look at your scans, because he was giving me, you're supposed to have a painkiller injection every 6 months, yeah?
Yeah.
It was happening every 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was that bad. And he said to me, he says, you can't keep on doing this. And he had scans taken, and he looked at them, and he says to me, he says, I'll book you in. I said, book me in for what? He says, you need your knee doing. He says, we're going to give you a new knee. I'm like, really? And this was coming up to Christmas.
Oh.
And I'd heard you needed a good 12 months to fully recover from the operation. And I was going to Florida in less than 9. And I was saying to my missus, I was like, I don't think we're going to be able to go because I'm not going to enjoy it. And she's like, put the work in. And the surgeon did say to me, first 2 weeks of having it done, you'll wish you've never had a knee replacement.
Yeah.
After that, sky's the limit. And he told me to actually wear my knee out. It's been 2 years now since I've had the operation. First year was a bit, getting to know my levels and stuff. But now, it's everything else in my body that's failing. So my knee's good.
Yeah, I can get a full body replacement.
Yeah,
soon,
I could do, can I? Yeah, I want something that's, a bit more muscular and bones are better.
Yeah, looking like...
looking like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger would do me.
Well, I think I'd please everyone, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, shall we talk a bit about how we started the podcast?
Yeah, why not?
I can't remember if we touched on it in the first one or if we touched on it briefly.
I think we touched on it briefly.
But it all started, I had an idea. And I was like, I've got a few mates who I've met through, like, social media and stuff we've done and worked on in the past.
Yeah.
And since, like, August, really. So I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. So I started creating the brand via Astraddle Podcast, I guess. Sorted out a logo, sorted out a background, started putting things into place. And then I had a few guests lined up and I thought, you know what? I want someone to do it with.
Yeah.
But at the time, I thought, well, I could ask a family member, like I could ask my brother Marcus, or I could ask my dad or something like that. But I thought that's just... I didn't really want to do that, you know what I mean? I thought, you know what, I'll leave it. I'll keep everything to do with it. And I'll keep these potential guests lined up. And I wanted to have Mark Duffy on. I wanted to have Cliffy on anyway. So I thought, you know what, I'll leave that and I'll keep the notes I've already got. And I'll just wait and see if, I meet someone or I think, you know what, we'll be able to talk to each other for a long period of time and who's got interesting stories. So then I carried on at Ilkeston. I joined Ilkeston in the media team just before that. So I carried on and then the charity game came along, which unfortunately we lost.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's when you offered to come down voluntarily and photograph a game for free, which I still thank you for today.
No worries.
And you've done, I think, one game since that.
I've done one game since then.
Yeah.
Hoping to do a few more.
Yes, well, we've got a few lined up. I think we've got one next Sunday. So
I know next weekend is literally such a busy weekend for me. Unfortunately, I won't be doing the photos at Ilkeston next week.
Yeah.
I'm covering the Six Nations, so I can't turn that down.
But I thought, you know what? I put a status on. I put a tweet on Twitter, and then you dropped me a message. And he was like, you know what, Danny? I think, didn't you ask to come on as a guest to begin with?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? We've not known each other long, but we've get on well, I'd like to think. And we've both got some good stories to tell. So I thought, you know what? Let's give it a proper go.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
So then I think we had 2 weeks of sorting a load of stuff out. We did a bit more on the brand. We created social medias. And then we looked for a studio.
I literally text everybody who I thought in my contacts that would be interested. And I got quite a few replies back and they're like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, so I mean, with me being young, I don't know many people really who I would like to get on and have a chat with for an hour.
Yeah.
But I've got a few people who are interested, a few people who I've mainly met through football. But then we found Mike and then social media here in Ilkeston. So this is now where we record the podcast.
Shout out to Mike at Anti-Social Media. Fantastic studio.
So, yeah, if you ever wondered how we do it, how we get good audio, how we get the music, how it all gets together when we do breaks, that's down to Mike.
Yeah, I don't sound this good on a normal day.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a bit of work to do.
It's got a bit of work to do, yeah.
If the amount of coughs we do, the amount of times we kick with Mark. But, yeah, it's very good, and we've had a very good time whilst being here, and we'll keep that going.
We've had quite a few guests really ready lined up. I mean, we've had Mark Duffy on. That was fantastic to talk to him about everything. I mean, it wasn't always great subject matter, but the way he talked about it was amazing.
I mean, it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason it's a story is tragic. It's horrible. But I think the way he's gone about it and he's helped other people, and his blog is incredible. So,
have you seen this weekend where he tweeted out about his partner?
No.
She was in intensive care.
Oh yes, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's getting there. She's getting there.
Okay.
But
it was one of them things where I was tired. It was before I go to bed. I scrolled through, and then I clicked on it and closed my phone, so I could wake up in the morning and read it kind of thing. And it was never there in the morning. So, yeah, but Mark Duff is incredible. To be fair,
he is. Yeah.
The work he does is incredible. He's the only journalist I think I know well, and I think he's the best.
I know a few from up in Liverpool, but I've got to say he handles himself significantly better in the sense of the time he commits to things and the places he goes. I mean,
his professionalism.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, I do like Mark. He's a really cool guy.
And then we've had Cliffy on.
We have, yes.
That was interesting. I kind of feel bad with how much football we spoke in that half an hour.
Yeah, we should really talk more about other stuff with him, because we're going to do a part 2 on that, because we all know him as playing football and owning a football team. But we as people, you and me, Danny, we know him more.
I know more personally.
So we know more stuff about him.
He does some incredible stuff in the community as well.
He worked for the Trust, and that, I mean, I've done some work for the Trust, and don't get me wrong, it is pretty full on, but it's pretty rewarding what you get to do.
I'm really hoping to at some point be involved in the future, whether I can help out from time to time. Because some of the stuff we do, I mean, the stuff we do with people with dementia, I think we teach them how to play golf and stuff.
They were teaching them cricket when I was down there last time, and that was quite.
Yeah, and then we have young people. They help young people. Get into like work. I think I know they've recently helped me with my CV with me leaving school. I was awful. I had a lot of stuff I had, but it was horrible to read. Like, I had a template kind of thing. So Mark said, send it over to me. I'll get my team to help you, and they help me, and it's very good. So that's ready to be sent out now. So I mean, some of the stuff Mark Clifford and the people he works with, some of the stuff they do is incredible, and then obviously the football club is good as well.
I tell you who I want on. I know Fabs said he's willing to come on when we sort of date out. I want to have Kieran on because I want to hear some of the stories, because he's such a cool dude.
Oh, he's such a character, isn't
I think we should get Gandhi on. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's got some interesting stories.
I think we should get Gandhi and the assistant manager both in at the same time. Yeah, because they work well together.
Discuss that,
yeah, we'll have to have a word with them. So that'll be a good thing to do.
And then we've had.
Help
me. I've got Grace. That's
we
the one.
should have.
We've had Grace on.
Yes, we've had Grace on.
Learned a bit more about yoga. That was interesting.
I tell you what, mate. With your getting fit into playing football, I'll give her a text and see if she'd do a couple of yoga sessions with you, just to get you a bit more flexible and able to, because she is amazing. I know a website's doing really well.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at it earlier, to be fair. I was like, I know that photo. Oh yeah, I took that photo, yes.
And then we had Layla on last week. We had a chat with her.
Yeah, rugby player. Good. Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'll second that. She's got some very good stories. She's very knowledgeable of rugby as well.
She is.
And
equality for rugby is, do you know what? That would shock me when you told me that stat about how much the guys get paid and how much the girls get paid for the Six Nations. I was proper blown away. I was like, oh my God. And the girls play... The thing about the women's sport in general, whether it's football, rugby, even tiddlywinks, yeah? No, seriously.
Okay.
Everybody should all get paid the same, because they're all doing the same job, just different gender.
Yeah, I think in a way, some of it is understandable because and I think for me it's the same. If a woman was bringing in more money through revenue, and they get a bonus and pay, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Because people say, "Oh, why do footballers get so much money?" I don't think they deserve the 30-40 million pound a year money they get, but I don't think people understand how much they've got to do. They've got to stay fit.
Yeah.
So let's say their career is 17 years long.
Yeah.
They've got to stay fit. You've got to eat well. They can't drink much. They can't really smoke. They can't do, some of the things that people take for granted.
You've got curfews.
In everyday life. Yeah, you've got curfews. You've got to sleep a certain amount.
Yeah.
So for your career, you are limited to what you can do.
Well,
and that's for 9 months of the year. And then that 3 months you do have off, you still got to keep your diet.
Yeah.
You still got to keep that lifestyle going.
I'll let you into a little stat, actually.
Okay.
Steph Orton from Man City?
Yes.
Do you know how much she's on a year?
No.
Would you like to know?
I'm guessing around 80 to 100,000 pounds.
£82,000 a year.
Oh.
When you think about it,
That's nothing.
that's nothing compared to the guys. The guys get that per week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand to an extent why the men get paid more, but then it's like, with how much money the men's game bring in, it should then be... I think the FA's got a lot of work to do to make it equal, to bring more people in to watch the women's game, because the standard is pretty much the same.
I'm going to say something now.
It's still very, very good. So I think the FA's got a lot to do to bring the women's game, because on the pitch, it's the same.
Yeah.
I think, because I love watching women's football. It's very good. So it's on par with the men's football at the highest levels.
It is, but...
That's what it is. So I think the FA and FIFA's got a lot of work to do. Well, not a lot of work to do, but they need to work to get people to recognise that. And hopefully 10 years from now, if I have children and I have a young daughter and she goes up to be a footballer, professional footballer, hopefully by then they'll be on the same level, because they do deserve it.
They do, but I'll tell you something now, and this probably will get me in trouble with somebody, who's listening,
Okay.
that knows this is true.
Is it controversial?
It's very controversial, but I'll say it anyway. Say Chelsea men's team,
Yeah.
they win stuff, money gets passed down to the girls so that they can generate stuff and put stuff out there. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah. Liverpool, the men's and the women's team, nothing gets sent down as such. So Liverpool men are earning all this.
They're separate, I'm guessing.
And the girls, it's owned by, well, I won't say his name because everybody knows him, but he puts in what he can, but he's not. It's not coming from the guy's side. It's literally just coming from him.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's what needs to change. The standard of football is the same.
Yeah.
I think if you look at Real Madrid men's and then you look at Chelsea or Liverpool women's, there's differences.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's what it's always going to be. But in 10 years' time, it will be the same. Because I want to be careful of what I say, because
don't be careful. Just say what you need.
I think women's standard of football is incredible. It's very good. At the highest level, it is on par with the highest level of men's football.
Yeah.
And you got like Juventus women's, you got Real Madrid women's, you got Barcelona women's, you got Chelsea, Liverpool, and a few other clubs. They're all around the same ability anyway, just like the men's. And the attendance gates are going up and up and up in women's.
They are
at the highest level of women's football, and the men's is slowly going down. And the price points need to come down for the men's, and I think they need to go up for the women's.
Oh yeah,
because it's very cheap for women's football.
Do you know how much it is for a season ticket at Liverpool women? This is if you're not a season ticket holder or a membership for the men's.
Is that around 200-300?
No, mate. Season? No. Right. Okay. This is going to blow your mind, yeah. And this is how much of a difference the gap is, right? Okay. If you're a season ticket at any Premier League team, but I'll take Liverpool for example, or you're a part of the members, you get to go to watch the women's for free, you get let in for free.
But then shouldn't if they're going to the women's games, shouldn't money then from that season ticket purchase
Yeah.
go into the women's as well?
But then, if you're not and you want to buy a season ticket for the girls,
Just the girls.
just the girls, are you ready for this?
Okay.
Yeah, for a season, 36 quid. Yeah.
Well,
That actually tells you exactly what they think. And me personally, I like the girls' game. I know a lot of the girls personally
yeah.
because I cover a lot of the games. But at the end of the day, that just shows you how much they really care. Sometimes it's like £6, depending on where you go to get in. If you just want one game, and it's heartbreaking because they play as good a football as the guys do, but they don't get treated the same. They don't even play at Stamford Bridge or Anfield all the time. They play
It's only for the big games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only when they do promotions, like if it's a derby game. I was there for the Liverpool-Everton game back in November, at Anfield, and they filled out all the stands that they opened, but they left one stand closed. Yeah.
Okay.
So they got 20-odd thousand people coming in, which is great.
It's very good, yeah.
But when Man City and Man United are playing, there's over 40,000 people in the empty ad, as I call it, the empty ad.
Yeah, it's very empty. I mean, I don't think they sold out Wembley today.
No.
'Cause the day we're recording today is Sunday, the 1st of March.
Yeah.
Which is not Community Shield.
No, it's the Carabao Cup.
Crapio Cup, as I call it.
The Crapio Cup, yeah.
It's terrible. It really is. I hate it. I think it's a competition which is for Premier League teams.
Yeah.
It just is. And it's what the FA Cup has become, I think. And I think that's what's stopped people being so enthusiastic about these domestic competitions.
I will say this, though. Had Liverpool not had to do the Club World Cup, and we won, by the way, had we not had to do that, I would have been at the game today. So we would have been rescheduling this. But, and I think it would have been more of a game if it had been Man City versus Liverpool. As much as I want Aston Villa to win, I'm not sure that they're going to. But if they do, I'll be happy. I'll be very happy.
Well, right now, let me see.
Please tell me they're winning. Please tell me Aston Villa are winning.
81st minute.
Yeah.
Man City 2-1 up.
Oh. Yeah.
9 minutes left of normal time to play.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, Man City have been banned from European football.
Yes.
For breaking financial fair play regulations, rules and regulations.
Do you know how that worked?
I think it was to do with endorsements, wasn't it?
It was to do with
a big thing to do with the Etihad deal.
It was sponsorships and players' wages for images for games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, they should be down in League Two. Because
Yeah.
anybody else, Rangers had it done back in the Scottish League quite a few years back. They got done, and it's not the first time that Man City have done this. They've been done twice now.
Okay.
So the first time they do it, your hands up, say, yeah, sorry, get your slap wrist, don't do it again. Pay a fine, and that's fine. This
What's
time...
a £30 million fine?
Yeah, but
Man City don't care about that.
No, because they've got money to chuck away.
Exactly. They're spending £30 million for Bob down the street.
Yeah.
It's nothing for them. It's
It's
half a signing for them that they can't do.
Yeah.
But they'll still bring that player in.
But a little tip. This season our revenue's gone over 100 million, for Liverpool. All the money that's come in is going back into the club. They're not just pocketing the money.
Yeah, that's the right thing.
They're putting everything that they've earned that's come from this season and end of last season back into the club. So that can't be bad.
Yeah.
It's amazing, to be fair.
I think the thing now is, especially with non-league clubs, the funding they get in grassroots level from Sunday morning leagues, Sunday afternoon leagues, Saturday morning leagues, non-league, so the National League down to, I think it's step 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
The money they get from the top league, awful.
Yeah, absolute awful.
Because the top teams get so much money from mainly TV money.
Yeah.
Why isn't a good percentage then going down into the grassroots game. Because surely the FA should be like, okay, so you got £30 million or something from this one game. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm just going,
You just breezing
So
some
let's
numbers.
say £30 million for one game on Sky Sports or whatever. And this isn't factual. I don't know if it is. But let's say it is that. I think 5 million minimum should then go down into the grassroots.
Yeah.
Because
Easy.
the pitchers need money putting in. Because I think there's 5 pitchers or 5 lots of pitchers around the Ilkeston area, and I don't think many teams have had a game on Sunday morning.
No,
Not many teams have had a game on this year.
I know the girls had quite a few of their games cancelled at the start of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, how crazy is that?
Because you look at Liverpool and you look at Chelsea and you look at Tottenham and you look at United and you look at all these teams, and they've got immaculate pitchers.
Yeah.
They're spending millions of pounds, surely millions of pounds, a
Easy.
year on their pitchers. And they're brilliant. And fair play to them for caring for the pitch. But I think the FA needs to bring in some kind of rule where a good percentage of money they earn through TV and sponsorship money has to go down to grassroots.
Agreed.
Because all you need to do is look at Tranmere Rovers pitch.
Oh, that's where the Liverpool ladies play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think League 1 and League 2, some of the pitches are terrible. Because they just can't afford to look after them.
Also, bringing it back to where they play, they've had to go to another club for certain games because they've had 3 or 4 games cancelled this season because of the way the pitch is.
Yeah.
And a lot of Liverpool fans who I've spoken to have turned around to us and said they won't go to watch the girls because it's not actually in Liverpool, it's in Tranmere. It's not at Anfield. Now, how are you gonna do, stuff you need to build the team, to build the game in the girls' game, but then, it's not being held where you'd think it'd be held. But, that's my opinion. But I've got a text message actually off my friend. I put a tweet out earlier saying, is there anything that you want us to talk about? And you covered it earlier about yesterday's game with Liverpool. Yeah. And this is what he said, right? He says, can we talk about how rubbish you were? In fact, I will actually say exactly what he says, yeah? So, excuse my language straight away. We'll have to beep it out if need be, yeah? He says, can we just say how shit you guys really are? When VAR is not on your side, what have you got to say about that? Would you like to talk about it on your podcast? Well, actually, I would like to talk about it. Because, to be fair, it's not VAR that wins us games. We are lucky, because VAR get everything wrong. So, by that standard, there's probably been some things that have happened in games that we should have had, but VAR never gave us.
I think West Ham have lost something like 20 points this season.
Yep.
Due to wrong VAR decisions.
Did you see...
Or controversial decisions.
Exactly. I'll come back to a controversial decision that happened today.
Is that United game?
Yeah, it is.
I've not seen that. So.
Have you not?
No.
Well, I'll tell you about it in a second. But my mate says to me, he says, you're going to win it this year, but it's the most undeserving.
It's definitely not.
I was going to say, what are you drinking?
Because you've got teams like Manchester City who are spending big money.
Yeah.
And then, I'll say it, Chelsea, over the years, spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Liverpool over the years has spent a lot of money, but nowhere near as much as what Chelsea and Man City have spent.
Yeah.
And I'm a Chelsea fan. And
It's...
I'm happy to say Liverpool are deserved winners. Mm-hmm. Over the years that Klopp has been there, I think it's 3 or 4 years now, isn't it?
He's been there nearly 5, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's slowly built this team. And
Yeah.
you can see, not last season, but season before, you got to the Champions League final.
I'll say something now, and this will hurt me because it's new Manchester United. Yeah, when Fergie came in, he didn't win anything to start off with.
Yeah, I think wasn't it 3, 4, maybe 5 years before they won any?
4 years,
trophy.
I do believe, and I think if he hadn't won when he did, they was going to say that's it. Thank you for your help. But nowadays, because football is a massive market and there's a lot of money in it, managers aren't being given the time. I mean, fortunately, Klopp hadn't won anything for 4 years.
It's a results business now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And
But now...
I think that's the thing, because Chelsea are big. If a manager's form or a team's form dips a little bit, they're gone.
Yeah.
Because they can afford to get rid of them now like that.
That's the Abramovich era, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
and a
money
lot of teams like it.
I will say, though, their hospitality is lovely.
I can imagine.
Oh, it's set up, and the way it's set up. And last time I was down there, I was playing. In fact, we're playing you down there on Tuesday. And if I'm honest, I want to win it, but it's also going to be like, it's just another game we've got to add to the end of the season. We're going to be absolutely burnt out come the end of the season. But no, when you go to Chelsea and you do the hospitality, the food, the drink, they cater for everything.
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing. And Anfield's just as good, but if I'm honest, I think Chelsea just top it a little bit. They're at the top of the league for hospitality food, and the way they treat you is great. But the supporters, some of the supporters are great. I didn't see any issues when I was there, but I have heard, that a few of them have been banned from games.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that annoys me. I think Chelsea fans are known as, this has been said to me, a racist fan base.
Everyone's got
a
them.
fan base that discriminates amongst a lot of different types of people. But then again, it's a minority, and there's a small minority of Liverpool fans who do not deserve to be allowed to go to a football game.
Yeah.
It's Man United fans, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A small minority who shouldn't be allowed to go to football games. Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, the list can go on. Every football club has them few fans. When you are a big club like your Tottenham, your Liverpool, your Chelsea, them kind of teams, there's going to be more. But if you look at the percentage of fans, it must be only, 2-3%? Who do let them down. And I think that's with every fan base. And I think it's unfair to label a club's fan base over them small minorities.
It is, but if there's more and more coming out with the same views, then it's going to be jumped on. I mean, it happens in non-league.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was one time, this isn't non-league, I was covering Liverpool under 23s.
Yeah.
And it was against Coventry. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I was pitch side, and it's a bit like being at Ilkeston, they're literally just right behind you. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was there taking photos, and there was this Coventry City fan. Old guy he was, yeah. If he was under 70, 75, you'd be lucky. And he was there with his sons. Now, they were all cheering, and at the time, the Liverpool goalkeeper was half-cast.
Okay.
Yeah. And the crap that was coming out his gob, and his kids were like, Dad, shut up. Dad, shut up. But he didn't see a problem with it, because when he was younger, it was perfectly fine to say that kind of thing. Yeah. And the things he was coming out with, you're like, oh my God. And I actually got a photo of him. Yeah. Because I was going to send it to the club and say, can you just, this guy here has been so
vile.
Yeah. And racially abusing a player. And, it just happens. But that's football for you. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just humans in general. It's bad. And I think it's harsh to say a fan base is racist. A fan base is, or a fan base discriminates against people. And yes, there is some people in the fan base, but then it is, again, just that small minority. But going back to, I guess, a nicer topic, Klopp. The Klopp era at Liverpool.
Yes.
He's been there, so I think he said almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
Or around that time.
Yeah.
He's certainly built a team. He's brought in good, brilliant players. James Milner.
Excellent guy.
Agent. His ability to, I guess, drop him with his age, but he's a true leader.
Yeah.
On the pitch is incredible. He controls the game so well. Jordan Henderson has been there for a long time anyway.
But he got so much stick because they reckon he's not good enough. And
yesterday goes to show how important Henderson and then kind of players are for the Liverpool team. And then they brought in Sadio Mane. We brought in Salah. I'm not the biggest fan of Salah.
Why not?
On his day, he's a brilliant player.
Is that because
on
he was
his
at
day.
Chelsea and then left?
No.
Fair enough.
I think Salah's an incredible player, but he does have them times where
Everyone
he
goes
goes missing.
Yeah.
And I think he gets protected a lot when he is in that stage where his form dips a bit. But yeah, I would say he's an incredible player. And for them days where he shows up and he grabs a couple of goals, he tears the defence a new one.
He's good.
I think everyone would like to have him.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I think it's like, I'll say Eden Hazard is a club legend at Chelsea. He has them parts of the season where he'll go missing.
Yeah.
And every club has it. But yeah, Salah, still a brilliant player.
Absolutely.
You've got most of the season is a brilliant player. And then you've got players like Bobby Firmino. You've got Alisson. You've got Van Dijk. You've got Robertson. You've got Trent, who came up through the academy. You look at all these players who have come up whilst Klopp's been at the club.
Yeah.
And to say that Liverpool, do not deserve to win the league this year.
Well,
I think that's.
I'll give you 3 points. Yeah, I'll give you 3 examples, and then we'll just go for a small break. Yeah,
Okay.
but number 1, we wouldn't be where we are without Van Dijk. It doesn't matter how many goals we score. If you let goals in, you're still not going to win. Yeah. So without Van Dijk being there, we would not be anywhere. Bobby is just something completely different. He turns up. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah, he's so good at what he does. And people, when he doesn't score, I mean, this is a weird stat. He hasn't scored a goal at Anfield all season. All his goals have been away from Anfield.
But I think it's like Wellesley at Ilson.
Yeah.
Even when he's not scoring, he's so important to have on that pitch.
Yeah.
Because just the stuff he does
and
on the ball, off the ball, it's incredible. And you need someone like that in the team.
And I'll tell you my last example, yeah? You know James Milner?
Yep.
One of his relatives is my next door neighbour.
Fair enough.
And he lives in Ilkeston.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go. And on that note, we're just going to go for a small break. And when we come back, we'll be just talking about a few other things.
The Astraddle Podcast.
And we're back from our little break. We've just been talking in the break, to be fair, about things that we want to talk about in the next few episodes. We're going to talk about mental health and how good it is to talk. We're going to get a couple of guests in, and we're going to just talk about stories so that people know that, don't bottle things up inside. You can talk to people, even for the smallest of things. I mean, people, what one person thinks is a small thing could be extremely large and on somebody else's shoulders, and it could cripple them. So we're going to touch on that in the next couple of weeks. Get a couple of people in.
Yeah. So I mean, going back to how important it is, it's just very important. So if anyone listening now is going through a rough patch, or maybe they're thinking, why am I here? What is my purpose? Drop someone a message. If it's a family member, so one of your parents, one of your friends, or one of your siblings, or just someone you don't know, maybe someone who you look up to, just drop them a message. Or social media, you can drop anyone a message now.
Yeah, but please be nice.
Yeah, I mean, so if anyone's listening now and want to drop me a message, and I'm sure Lee, you're the same, feel free to do so. Because last night I put something on Twitter, and it was about my injury. So I had a few people message me like, "Oh, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you?" And then I was just talking to someone for about an hour because I was, struggling a little bit. So I think it's just so important, and it's important to talk, and it's important to listen at the same time.
I was struggling a few weeks back, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was having a really bad day, and I won't say who, but an Ilkeston Town player messaged me and said, "If you need to talk, mate, you know where I am." And I didn't know him that well at that time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's always good to talk.
So, Lee,
yes,
what should we discuss now?
Well, we can't talk about Liverpool because we've already talked about them. We can't talk about Man City because they're rubbish. We can't talk about Ilkeston because we've already talked about them. Let's talk about your charity football team.
Right, okay. I'm guessing you mean Treetops, yeah?
I do mean Treetops, yeah.
Right, so what would you like to ask?
When did you start doing it?
Well, 25th of February 2018.
Wow.
Was our first game. So basically, I got a message off someone who I knew at the time, well, I still know now, but I don't really have much to do with him anymore. Basically, he played for a team called HDB Magpies, and they wanted to play a charity football match, wanted to make it an event. So we thought, you know what? We'll contact Danny, who I was 13 at the time. I basically this was beginning of January, I then for a month contacted everyone I knew who might be interested in playing. So we got a team of about 16. We played the first game on the 25th of February. We got annihilated 18-3. But we raised £300 for charity. And it was a good day. We went to a pub after. We had a few drinks and that. Well, I didn't.
I was going to say you.
The players did. Those who was allowed to, because I think the average age was about 19.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good, and it was a good day, and we had a few people turn up. We had £300 raised, and it was very good. So then from there we decided, right, okay, we'll go ahead, we'll do this event May the 5th, 2018 at the New Manor Ground in the Folkestone Town Football Club.
Yes.
I arranged it. We was playing HGB Magpies. We got it all sorted. We now had a team. We was now playing friendlies once every 2-3 weeks. We was getting a team, and then we finalised the team. It was like, okay, this is who we're going to take. And then they went, actually, we're going to have to pull out. I was like,
what?
Oh, okay. This was around March time. So it was still early on enough. And then I was like, okay. Macaulay, who's the kit man at Ilkeston, he was who was a manager. I was assistant and chairman, owner, founder, whatever you want to call it. So we then thought, you know what, who can we get? He contacted a few teams. San Diego Town decided, you know what, we'll get involved. So we played San Diego Town on the 5th of May 2018 at the New Manor Ground.
Yeah.
It was mainly me behind the scenes sorting all the event out, whilst Macaulay and myself was sorting out the team. So we got the event sorted, got a sponsorship sorted, got a kit sorted, and then 2 weeks before the event, sponsor pulled out.
Really?
Because they was going to become a kit sponsor for a year.
Yeah.
And I think it was only about £600-700. But they was also going to sponsor every single event we ever did for that year.
Wow.
Which we then did 2 more after that in 2018. And basically we did it, and they was going to fund the event. So we had to get insurance, which cost 170 quid.
Yeah.
We then had to pay for the pitch, which was, I think, about £100. So that puts our cost up to almost £300. And then we had to get a kit. We was borrowing a kit off Mike and Kelly, Ilkeston Town Ladies at the time.
Yeah.
So we had a kit, but we wanted a kit of our own. Because I think that's important for every team. You want your own our own identity.
Absolutely.
We had a badge, but we was borrowing an Ilkeston FC kit. It was at the time. So we then had no funding. We had £350 roughly of costs. So I was like, I don't know what to do. We went into a meeting a couple of days after the sponsors pulled out, and was talking. I was like, okay, have you been given the money from the sponsors? Because they knew we had a sponsor and that. And I went, well, we're gonna have to fund it ourselves now. When I went, the sponsors pulled out. I went, what, with 14 days left before the event? I went, yeah. And when was all this finalised? I went, beginning of March. So we didn't have our own kit. We had no money for funding. And Covershore Insurance, I'll say, in Ilkeston, said, you know what? We'll cover the cost for the insurance for you.
Wow.
So that was a huge cost out of the window. That was done. That was covered. The event was insured. All the players was insured. And the people who turned up was insured. So then I was like, right, okay. And then for the month of April, and then leading up to the event, Eros Sound, Ilkeston Advertiser, Ilkeston Life, and I guess the publications in Ilkeston got behind us, and it was like, right, let's make this proper event. We had the clubhouse open. We had 2 artists in the band in the clubhouse. They volunteered. They said, okay, we'll come down and we'll entertain. We had volunteers on the gate. We had volunteer stewards at the game who was involved with Ilkeston Town, and we had 257 people turn up.
Wow,
we
that's good.
raised a very good amount of money, but we still had some costs we had to cover. So I think it put it down to about around £450-500 in the end, from about 600 from just because of costs and stuff like that. But then we was lucky enough from then to be able to do another event.
Yeah.
With the money we got from that, and then we made more money. But that was only that event, following event, for 2 weeks after that was so we could get a new kit. So the money we took from the last event we put back, and then we had money to then buy our own kit.
Yeah.
So, and then the money we had after buying the kit we then put into the money for charity, and then we sorted all that out. So in the end we had a bit more after that event to then go to charity and stuff. And then, almost 2 years down the line, we're still going. Macaulay left. Mutual decision, I guess. He left after a bit, around June, July. And then Harry took over the manager role, who was playing for us at the time.
Yeah.
And now we're still going. We've got some very good players. We've got some very good players. We've got some not so very good players who are still very good and really nice lads.
Yeah.
And it's starting to become like a family again.
I know Harry comes down to Ilkeston Town. I see him.
Yeah.
I haven't had to say hi to him as he's walking past.
Yeah, he's normally with his dad and the Marshall's dads.
I will say this: if you can organise or want to get an event done November, December time, send me a text. I'll chuck a chunk of money your way. We'll get something set up. We'll do another one somewhere.
Okay, hopefully. Now Ilkeston are getting a 4G pitch. We'll be able to use that and do more events. Yeah. Hopefully.
If we can do that, it'd be great. Yeah. But like I say, just let me know, and any way I can help to get this going, because it's a really good cause. And if we can get that, I'll genuinely will send a text message to everybody in my contacts on my mobile phone and say, "Oi, get your asses down here, because it's for a good cause."
Yeah, because what I would like to do in the future is get a band down. Hopefully the same people we had in the last big event we did at Ilkeston. Hopefully have them down.
And who was that?
Ooh, The Village.
The Village. Okay.
Yeah, they did like country music, some pop music. They did their own music and covers. They were very good, and we had some very good feedback.
I know one artist in a band that would be definitely up for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to get a bouncy castle. I'd like to get a face painter. I would like to have some kids on the pitch before the game at half time.
Yeah.
Mascots and stuff. So then we can involve community a bit more. And that's my plans going forward for the club. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, because it's good having the club and it's good like that. But recently we haven't been raising money for the charity, because
no, you've been paying costs off.
Yeah, because currently where we're playing, it's £100 a game to hire the pitch.
Is it really?
And then we've got to pay for the official.
Now
we've got an official and his dad who they'll do it for free. And then we have someone called Jevon as well, and then we've got Ryan and his dad who do it for free, or we pay for their travel to get there. Yeah. So that puts our costs down a lot more as well. But yeah, it gets expensive at times.
That's to say it's for a charity, charging you that much for use of a pitch. I know you can't say where it is, because you won't do that, but that is absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, I mean, they are very good. They look after us well.
Yeah.
And they open no clubhouse and stuff like that for us, so we can go in there after a game and stuff. And they do it cheaper than what they normally do, I think. But it's also for cost of the floodlights and stuff like that. So I understand why they have to charge us and stuff, but it does get expensive after a while.
What you've just said there, they treat you well, but they still charge you an absolute fortune for what you do. Yeah, it's a bit shitty, that is. Yeah. Excuse my French, but still, I think we should definitely do one November, December time, and get enough time in there to get all the promotional stuff done, so we get people down there and get earning some money for charity. And what charity is it again?
We predominantly do it for Treetops Hospice Care. That's in honour of my granddad, who, before he passed away the year before, due to cancer.
He
Went there and he didn't even realise it was a hospice. He literally thought it was a group of mates who went there and they looked after him so well, and he thoroughly enjoyed it. So I thought, you know what? The day of his funeral, I was like, because he had a collection for him and that, and we learned a bit about what they did, I was like, I want to be in a position one day where I can give back to him. And that's then when True Tops came around, the football club and stuff like that. And we have a brilliant sponsor in Motifs, a printing, embroidery, and they do banners and workwear. They sponsor us, Motifs in Ilkeston, on the Rope Walk, near Argos.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, they're very good. And Kev is incredible. He's supplied us with 2 kits. You've seen the kit.
Yes, I've seen the kits.
Yeah, and I like them. They're a bit of retro with a modern twist to it.
Yeah.
I like it, but they're incredible. They help us out as much as they can. And they have put quite a lot of money. I think they've put I don't want to say the amount, but I'll tell you off what they've done and how they've helped us and stuff. But they've put in quite a bit of money to make sure that we was sustainable at the time. And we had kits, which obviously I like them.
Yeah.
A blue and yellow kit and a green and white kit. Green and white for other colours of Tree Tops. And our first kit we borrowed was blue and white striped. But the blue and white kit we was going to get, I wasn't a fan of, so we had blue with a hint of yellow.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be nice.
Yeah, would you?
So yeah.
That's pretty cool. We're just going to take a little break a second, and then we're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to do the drinks. Right.
And we are back. You are listening to the Astraddle Podcast. I'm Danny. Sat across from me is Lee, and we are going into our final segment before I leave the room, and Lee takes over with some alcohol tasting.
Yes, some very interesting alcohol tasting.
So now we're going to talk a bit about where we've been locally, some nice food places, maybe some pubs, maybe some, stuff we've done locally in the last few months, or maybe some stuff that is memorable and you'd like to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well, this week, there's so many places in Ilkeston for food. I've been to the Humble Cafe. Love their breakfast.
I've not been there.
If you look over my Twitter feed, 9 times out of 10, there's at least one photo a day, of me where I've had something to eat.
Okay.
And I took photos of being at the Humble Cafe. Fantastic food, absolutely fantastic food. But I usually go to South Perk, top of town,
Okay.
for a sandwich.
I'm not sure where that is.
You know where Hogarth's is, or Snap Fitness?
Yeah, I know where both of them are.
It's just down the road from there.
Oh, where the
It's on
apartments and stuff.
Yeah, it's on the corner.
Okay.
And I go in there. Normally, my staple meal from there is a baguette, a tuna mayo baguette. Yeah?
Okay.
But then I found out they do club sandwiches, and that's my kryptonite. I love club sandwiches.
Right, explain what that is.
It's basically 3 slices of bread toasted with bacon and salad, mayonnaise, all into one. And everywhere I go, I have to try one if they've got one on menu. And I've been going there for years, and never have I seen it on the menu. And then 2 weeks ago, I saw it on the menu, and I was like, oh. And she brought it out, and I had to take a photo of it because it was huge. And it's not very often I get beaten by food, but it did. It beat me. I was like, oh, wow. So I had to go back. 2 weeks ago I went, and then I had to go back last week just to see if I could finish it off. And I was so close to finishing it, but it's huge.
Okay.
So, and then on Friday night before football, yes, I went to Raduni's. You know where Raduni's is?
Brilliant. South Street.
Oh, it's fantastic. I used to go to...
Bath Street, sorry.
Yeah. I used to go to the one in Nottingham, the Indian in Nottingham, called Curry Lounge.
Okay.
It was famous for getting things wrong on TV, on Gordon's Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, things like that. So we went and we really enjoyed it. We knew the owner, but when he sold it, we thought, oh, we'll stay local. We started going to Raduni. And we go there twice, maybe 3 times a month, just to chill out. But every time we go, the food is just unbelievable.
It's incredible. What do you have when you're there?
What I used to just be, plain Jane korma, chicken korma.
That's me, yeah. You can't beat a korma.
You can't. I prefer creamy to tomato-based curries.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But what I used to have was chicken korma, onion barges, naan bread, normally to myself.
Plain
naan bread.
Oh, no.
Because if I had to share it, Kate doesn't like any garlic or anything like that, so she wouldn't have that.
Garlic naan bread is just...
oh yeah. And then it would be... I'd have to have a pint of Cobra. It's a thing. When I ever go somewhere, I will try the local stuff. If I'm abroad, I'll try what the locals drink, rather than trying to have, something that I'm very aware of, like a pint of Guinness. But I've just recently changed what I have when I go to Raduni's, and it's basically I can't remember what it's called, but it's got banana in it.
Okay.
And it is absolutely delicious. It really is. We also have Bombay potatoes, and they always, I don't know if you get this, when you go in, they always bring you out a dish that you'd never ordered as a complimentary. And then at the end of the meal, they ask you if you want a free shot of a spirit. And also a little tip. It's really good. The guy that runs it is a Liverpool fan, so we always have a little bit of banter when we talk. And on Friday we was all we're gonna beat Watford. I haven't seen him since yet, so I'm hoping he didn't watch it or. But now I really do like it there. It's we tend to book fairly early on when we're going. It's like 7:00 because by 9:00 I'm absolutely shattered if I've had a long day and I just want to chill out. So we get in there early, have something to eat, have a drink, and then it's the best. What do you have when you go?
At Raduni's, I have a chicken korma.
Yes.
Peeler rice.
Yes.
Chips.
Yeah. You have chips in the Indian?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so wrong.
I don't know. It's just the sweetness of the korma is nice with chips.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question now, and if you answer it the way I think you're going to answer it, you're going to have to leave this booth, right? Do you use salt and pepper?
No.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
No.
Yes.
And then I have a garlic naan.
Oh, yes.
Onion barges.
Yes.
And they always bring out this... When I'm there, they bring out this little crispy, round onion thing.
Yeah.
It's not an onion bhaji, but I'm not sure. It's like an onion with a crispy batter kind of thing.
Well, it sounds like onion bhaji, but yeah, it could be something.
It's too thin.
Yeah,
kind of thing. It's I'm not sure. It's not like your typical onion bhaji, but it could be. I'm not sure.
One of the things I do, when you get your poppadoms or your pickle tray.
Yeah.
The green one that comes out.
Yeah. What, like the vegetable kind of salad kind of one?
Yeah, it's the green liquid one. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I always use. I'm the one that has that. Kate won't have that because she knows I really like it.
I only have a chutney and a salad thing.
I have the salad thing, but this one is my favourite. What I do is I take it out of the tray that it's on. So when the onion barges come, I just put it on the onion barges, and it tastes so amazing.
Okay.
Top tip.
So another Indian place, Jackers.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Above Hamilton's, the school shop thing. I don't know what it is. But I went there for my brother's birthday in end of January.
Yeah.
It was very, very nice. It's on par with Raduni's.
Oh.
If not slightly better.
See, I want to go, but I don't want to feel like I'm betraying Raduni because it's really nice. I really do want to go.
Yeah.
So I might have to give that a try.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we go to Raduni a lot.
Yeah.
Whenever we do go out for a birthday meal, we'd normally go to Raduni's. But we thought, you know what? We'll try something different.
Yeah.
Because, so we went to Jackers and it was so nice. Very nice. We was the only people there to begin with. We went when it just opened. We was there before the boss.
Wow.
Yeah, he was travelling from Newcastle. He travels from Newcastle every day.
Serious?
I think so.
The real Newcastle. The proper Newcastle.
The Geordie Newcastle, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, and it was just very, very nice. And then, yeah, it was... The thing I think was better was the naan bread.
Yeah.
I think the naan bread was a bit nicer. But other than that, on par with Redunas.
And what is the price range like?
Ooh, I've got their app actually. I think the curries was around £8
That's not bad.
for the curry,
That's
and
not bad
about
at all.
£3 for the rice or something, £3-4, and then about the same for a bowl of chips.
Yeah.
The number was about £2.90, something like that. So around the same price point as Redunas.
That's good.
So you're paying about £15 for the meal,
Yeah.
which is good, I think.
Well, I think that is it for today. It's been a real great episode in the sense of we've covered a lot of things, mostly sport, but we've covered a lot of things just so people get to know us a bit more. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. And I'm going to do the beer and alcohol review after our short break. And I want to thank Danny for coming along and making it more interesting than just, being one-on-one with the microphone.
The Astraddle Podcast.
And we are back tonight. This is probably one of my favourite parts of the podcast. I mean, I do love talking with Danny and I guess, but my beer and alcohol review is probably the best thing that I love about this. And tonight we're reviewing two things. We're reviewing a real ale and we're also reviewing a whiskey. The real ale is Light Brigade. Yeah, it's a Iron Maiden beer, and I can't wait to taste this. Here we go. Right, so undone the bottle. Ooh, getting caught up in all my wires. Not a good idea. So let's try this. This is. Oh, that sounds nice.
Ooh.
Oh, what do you think? Oh, and by the way, I'm being joined here by Mike from Antisocial Media.
All the way from the control room.
Yes, and I'm liking this. Oh, what do you think to the colour of that?
Yeah, it's nice. It's amber.
It's very amber, and
Ooh.
it is 4.1% alcohol.
I've only tried the Trooper one.
You've only tried the Trooper one. They've got another one as well. Oh, it's very.
Oh yeah.
It is very nice. It is very nice. I tell you one I do want to try. AC/DC do some.
Really?
Yes, but you can only get them on the website. And
What's it called?
I don't know. To be fair, I've got to look it up. But this,
It's not hoppy and it's not
No.
malty. What is that?
I'll tell you what it is. Right, it's a golden beer brewed in support of Help the Heroes. Yeah. So basically, it's a Robinson's beer brewery. That's a good brewery to.
Whereabouts is it?
I'm not 100% sure. I shall look at it. But you can buy these in Morrison's 4 for $6. I think it is.
Do Iron Maiden have a hand in this? I've always wondered this.
Yeah.
Is it Bruce Dickinson's thing? Because he seems to have his finger in many a pie.
Well, he can fly a plane.
Yeah, and does.
And does on a regular
tour.
basis.
He takes his
I
band on
want to
tour.
go on Ed Force One. I really do.
You want to go on it? I've been on a few tours, and the thought of piloting a passenger jet,
Yeah.
and then playing a gig, it's just, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how he does it.
He's got to be on such a high for doing it. But yeah, they have a lot to do with this. They just changed the label for this one on the Day of the Dead festival. They actually changed it. It didn't. I don't think it said Light Brigade on it because it had a different label, different picture. And there were people going, "Well, what you done with it?" It's like it's the same beer. It's just a different label just to celebrate Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And I've got to admit, I mean, whatever Bruce does, I mean, he's a fantastic fencer. You know, he can. I think he did it in Olympics, or he tried.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does everything, doesn't he? The guy's sort of unstoppable.
I watched them live in Sheffield for the Book of Souls tour, And he was amazing. He really was. Do you want some more?
Yeah, well, I mean,
It'd be rude not to.
I would hate to see it go to waste.
Absolutely.
For Bruce.
For Bruce. But I love the colour of it. The colour, and it's very, very tasty.
It is nice. It's one of those ales that you want summer's day, out of the fridge.
Yep.
You know, just perfect.
Yes.
It's refreshing.
It is. Is it as refreshing as the plum porter, though?
It's different. Although the plum porter's now lining my fridge. And it's a big old fridge. I mean, there's quite a lot of them in there.
Yeah.
It's a different... It's more of a traditional taste to me. That plum porter, it's shocking how fruity... Well, it's got fruit juice in it, hasn't it? So I suppose that would probably stand to reason. But yeah, this is a more traditional ale. And it's very nice and it's very refreshing. I'd say they're both
Equally
top
good.
quality beers, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think... I mean, even here, as it says... I mean, I know it says it's Health for Heroes, yeah, but every time you buy one of these, money goes to them. It's not just a marketing tool. I mean, I do like this beer. I also like Trooper a lot, but I like this one, and this one's harder to get on the shelf.
Yeah, I've not had this one before. I knew it was available. I saw it in a window somewhere, but I didn't go in and buy it, and I didn't see it again.
Do you want some?
Well,
why not?
If there is some, then yeah.
There is some, yeah. There we go. We're just finishing off this bottle.
It's almost the sort of evening where it'd be nice to have a chaser, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah. But, you know, I mean, to me, it's really nice. I could actually do a session on this, I think. I'd probably wake up with a headache. But from real ale, you don't normally get a headache, depending.
I seldom drink enough in one sitting to have one.
Drink enough plum porters and it might happen.
They are good. Actually, the other morning, who was that who came? Oh, that's right. When we were doing the electrics in the kitchen, and it got to sort of 11s, and I thought, a packet of crisps, a sandwich, and then it was the plum porter, and I mean, I had a friend here helping, and he had it, and he doesn't like dark ales. So I said, you just try this, and it had one sip. It was like, yeah, go on, fill me up.
Yeah. It gets you like that, to be fair.
It's sweeter. This is less sweet.
Yeah. If you like sweet stuff, then plum porter is the way to go. But I like this as well. I really like this. And
it's almost a pale ale, isn't it? It's very pale.
Yeah. But I'm very into this. Oh, excuse me. See what happens when you have far too much?
It does.
Right, I'm just going to finish this.
I'm definitely going to want that curry. All that talk of garlic naan breads and
yes.
I could probably make light work of it.
Right, and our second tasting, we are going to be drinking. We're having a glass of proper 12 Irish whiskey, and it's the Conor McGregor whiskey that he's made. And he is, as everybody knows, is a UFC fighter. And basically the origins of it is from where he grew up. So he wanted to do this whiskey, and I think you might like this.
There's something I wish I'd have brought, because I've got the Whiskey Magazine with a write-up about this, and there's something about the name. There's a reason.
Yeah, it was where he grew up. It was a district, but I'm not 100% sure on it exactly. So,
wow, is that no, look at that.
There you go.
Proper 12.
Oh, it smells lovely.
It does. It smells almost like a grain whiskey, a single grain. Bourbon casks.
Yes. And you know your whiskey. Just out of curiosity, how many bottles of whiskey do you own?
Oh, not that many. I mean, we've only been collecting for just under 2 years.
So
about 45, 50, I suppose.
Really?
Yeah, probably about 40 something. I think just shy of 50.
Nice. So
No water up here, so
no. So
it smells actually very light and easy. So
it smells and tastes gorgeous.
wow, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's so nice.
That is lovely.
To drink it, it's really good. You can actually get this in Asda when they get them, and they was like £20 a bottle when I first got my first bottle. But it's absolute. I've seen it in the Whiskey Guide magazine, and I was like, I've got one of them. And it's so nice. It is so nice, and
That is good.
The flavour is unbelievable.
Yeah, it does remind me of a grain whiskey. It reminds me a little bit of another one that's endorsed by Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yeah. What was the whiskey? I've got Hay Club.
Hay Club. Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that, that's a single grain.
I think we should do a whiskey club every week. Yeah, review a whiskey every week.
Well, I mean, every day.
This is actually, it's one of them where you could just come in, have it. It's not even that harsh. It's not that.
That's not harsh at all.
No,
it's sweet and
yeah. People that don't drink whiskey and they think when you drink it it's quite harsh. This one isn't. This one's actually sweet and it's nice on the palate. It really is, and I can't actually promote it enough.
Yeah, you'll enjoy the Whiskey Club membership and the tastings because you do get to taste a fair number of high-end whiskies and some of them are quite harsh. I mean, if you get the cask strength stuff, it was sort of 56, 57%. It's not harsh, but it's just strong. It's just really, really strong. And then some of them are a little what you'd probably call harsh.
Yeah.
But then they'll follow that with a Speyside, and it'll be so sweet and delicate. It's almost like a sherry. They have it in the right order. They know the stuff.
I've got to actually contact St Austell Brewery and see if I can get the St Austell and Healy's Cider Farm whiskey because it's on the website.
£75. It's not. I'm sure when I was down there. I'm not talking in the mic. When I was down there, I'm sure because it wasn't part of the tasting, and I think maybe it was the first run because it was a lot of money. I guess £1,500, something around there. I'm pretty sure. I might be misremembering this because I've seen a lot of whiskey in the past few years, but I'm pretty sure it was well out of the. I wasn't going to buy one, and I'd usually buy. If there's a bottle of whiskey at Cotswold's place, the distillery there, I bought one straight away. But it was too much to take a punt on, and I've since read that it's an incredible whiskey.
I've had a glass down in Cornwall. I actually had a glass, and that night it wasn't my turn to drive when we went to the pub.
No.
So I had one, and I thought about going to buy a bottle, but then again, as you see, I was doing other things. I was like, maybe I'll get it at a later date, but I'm definitely going to go and get a bottle because it's so nice.
And at £75, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's reasonable for what's pretty much nothing more than a sort of tiny little cottage industry place that they've got there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even. Did I see their still? I think I did. See that. I saw the still, but they didn't have any, as I say, on the tasting, which was a shame.
It's I've got to try it again.
Yeah, my better half will want to try that.
Yeah, that's fine.
She likes she likes a sort of sweeter, fruitier whiskey. She's not so much into the peaty ones. Oh, I'm okay at the moment, savouring it. It's a sipping drink. Yeah, I mean, I didn't used to like the smokier stuff, but the first thing I asked, in Edinburgh when we went to the experience was, or was it the Whiskey Lounge, one of the two, and can you please teach me to appreciate the peated whiskies and the smell? Yeah, I can try this. And he was right.
What is your favourite whiskey to date?
I've got two.
You've got two?
I have, yeah, two definite favourite. Oh, actually, now I've got three.
Go on then.
Well, one of them is that Kale Isla.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's got a really, really unique taste. You'll like it. It's It's like tremendously drinkable.
Is that the limited edition one?
It is.
Yes.
I think the bottle. I've got two. I've got 109 of 140 and 120 of 140, and I'm going to open 120.
Wow.
That is very good. Glenfarclas 15 year is extremely good.
Yes.
Astraddle, which is the smallest distillery in Scotland, is also all of their range fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my three favourites to date. But I drunk one. I had one of the premium tastings. They brought a bottle on, 1,800 quid.
Wow.
And opened it, for 20 of us to have a dram. I suppose the next day they probably finished it off, but it was a lovely whiskey, but it wasn't my favourite. We've got the box downstairs.
Yeah.
I pestered them until they gave her the box. The box is the most beautiful piece of packaging you'll ever see.
Oh.
Magnet sort of doors on it and stuff.
Taking you slightly off the whiskey, I'll go to bourbon. Yeah. What is your view on Jack Daniels?
Well, I like it. I don't consider it really a whiskey, but I like it as a drink.
Yeah.
It's all the bourbons have got such a strange taste, and my favourite of those probably be something like Wild Turkey. But Jack Daniels, I used to love it because it was the thing, in the sort of late 80s. It was the thing for any rock, sort of punk rock musician. Any photograph, have a bottle of Jack Daniels in your hand, and I quite often had one, but I didn't often drink it. Not all of it, anyway. It's okay. And I've got a box set downstairs with Gentleman Jack. Did you know? Do you like? I
love.
You do.
I like my Jack.
We're what are we on now? Number 7, isn't it? At the moment,
7. Yes.
They've released a box set with samples of number 6 and number 5 and number 7. Now, I don't remember number 5.
No, I don't.
Number 6 I remember from sort of the 80s. I think number 5 was very briefly available.
Yes. They've done a distillery one, a brewer's one, which I do have. But I also have the honey, the fire.
I've got the honey one, yeah.
I've got the fire one.
And the apple one I've got.
You've got that. In the white bottle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like punch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, we put that on our Christmas cake so that so you've got a nice flavour. But because I can't drink it quick enough, on every birthday or Christmas, I always get a bottle of Jack Daniels from somebody, which I'm very appreciative for.
Yeah.
But not last year before, my wife bought me a Gentleman Jack. And then she bought me the single barrel malt, and that was unbelievable.
Gentleman Jack, I've got some. I've never tried it.
Have you not?
Is it remarkably different from your standard number 7?
Yeah, it is. My view, it comes out on special occasions. It's not one of them that. Because it is fairly expensive at times, depending on where you go.
Yeah, it's never been cheap, Jack Daniels, has it?
No, it's never been cheap. But I want to go to where they make it.
In Tennessee?
Yeah, that's where I want to go.
Whereabouts in Tennessee is that?
And I do know it. But right now, it's literally gone out my head.
It's not Memphis, is it?
No, it's not Memphis. Is it Lynchburg? Something like that.
Right.
But there was a programme on Discovery a few years ago, and they took you around the distillery. And it's a dry state.
Oh, I'd like to do that. Really?
Yeah. It's a dry state.
Peculiar, isn't it?
And they bring in people just to taste it. Yeah, that would be my job. If I was living there, that's what I would want to do.
You can drink in Tennessee.
But the place where they are, you can't. It is a dry state.
Strange.
Yeah, it's weird. And on this documentary I watched, it did tell you about it and the things they do to get the flavour. I mean, they take it through hot coals to get that, barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually got it. Yeah, I'll send you a link to it so you can watch it.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah,
it's really
both
good.
Like to see that.
And they only have like 3 or 4 people to actually taste these things, the tasting, and what they do with it is, and then they go into the theories of why it's number 7 and so forth. But the Gentleman Jack, I am a fan of, but I do like my single malt. My single barrel malt. Oh, I do like that.
I didn't even know they did one.
Yeah. I'll.
So it has the taste of a Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something I need. Can you get that over here?
You can, but it's very expensive.
Because our American friends, they do like the Scotch single malts, and there's a lot of ancestry there as well. That I suppose, and Irish too. That would sort of hark back to the original, whiskey production in Scotland or in Ireland. And the funny thing is, it was probably awful back then.
Yeah, it probably was.
It was a very different sort of grain spirit to what it is today. And I'd love to. I mean, somewhere there must be. It would probably be not too great by now. Probably would have evaporated a lot of it, but. I'd love to know what whiskey was when it first came around.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to look into that actually, and maybe have a talking point about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were contravening all sorts of laws in Scotland by producing it at first because. No, what was the thing? I can't remember which. It was a company that still has sort of whiskey collections today, and they were producing. A long time ago. This basic sort of whiskey spirit, and it was kind of illegal or it was frowned upon. I don't think it hadn't become law, but it would have done. And I can't remember who it was, but it was a member of the royal family.
Was it really?
Went to their distillery and tried it, and got all of the laws that were going to be passed or that had been passed. I can't remember which. To be rescinded, so because he liked it,
yeah,
and from that point on you could buy it. So we've got the royal family to thank for the fact that Scotch whiskey was allowed on the shelves at all.
Well,
yeah, that's very nice, very very nice.
Well, I think that concludes our.
That's a long one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Concludes our drinking part of the podcast, and it's
unfortunately,
but it's been really good. I mean. The light brigade was really nice, but the
very
whiskey,
nice, yeah.
But the whiskey, I am a massive fan of.
I might have to donate some interesting rums. I've got quite a few rums knocking around as well. You might like to review one of those.
Yeah. Well, I'm off to a brewery tomorrow.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the Titanic Brewery.
Oh God, yeah, you said.
I'm going there. I'm picking up some plum porter, but I'm also picking up some dark cherry. I will pop one in for you to have a taste. Oh, God,
that'd be nice. Yeah,
because I tell you now, you will love it.
Yeah, we're big on. In fact, I think we've got a plum tree growing at the back, and it produces a hell of a lot of fruit. And this time, did you have any of our rum top that we made?
No.
Well, you're about to, but it was made from our own fruit. But Zita doesn't like plums, and she wants to get rid of it and splice a cherry tree onto it. In Hungary they love their cherries, and I can see the fascination with cherries. It's lovely stuff, but don't get rid of the cherry plums. I mean, that's a fantastic tree. It produces enough fruit to keep us alive for a year.
Yeah,
it's an incredible thing.
Well, we are done. I want to say thank you for listening. It's been a long one today because we've talked about a lot of things, but it's been enjoyable. Firstly, it was me and Danny because it's our podcast and we had fun. And then I was doing this review with Mike from Antisocial Media, the studio of which we use while we're doing this podcast. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.